AM starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Gina Bullard. We do want to get to the latest locally on the coronavirus. Right now, Kansas has more than 2,700 cases and 113 deaths. Missouri currently has 6,500 cases, 252 deaths. Across the U.S., there's 869,000 cases and nearly 50,000 deaths. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says her goal is to start reopening the state on May 3rd, but that may not be possible. She says the state is nowhere near having the supplies needed for ample testing. She wants enough testing to identify and contain local outbreaks quickly, but the state doesn't have those supplies yet. Happening today, Truman Medical Centers is offering free COVID-19 testing in KCMO. But before you start heading out there, they want you to call the number on your screen, 816-404-CARE. Testing will be done at Second Baptist Church. They'll be testing from 10 to 2 today. It's open to the public, but again, it is very important that you call before you go. And nearly 100 people gathered outside of Research Medical Center with candles last night. They were honoring a nurse who died Tuesday from the coronavirus. Her name was Celia Yapanago. She was spirited, devoted, and working at Research until the age of 69. KCTV5's Betsy Webster reports.
Her husband, niece, and 2 sons stood with the others holding candles in memory of her life and dedication. A nurse who gave 40 years of her life to the hospital, its patients, and its staff, whom she mentored.
You're either really not smart to be in this field for 40 years, or you are so compassionate and selfless that you would dedicate your entire life to helping others.
Candles also lined the window of the 4th floor where Celia worked. A nurse who worked beside her on that floor described her as full of energy.
Celia was a little fireball. Every time she come to work, she would always be picking on someone or making us laugh somehow, some way.
Her colleagues say she lost her life just a week from retirement because they say she didn't have access to the proper protective gear. A rep with HCA, which owns Research Med, said they are heartbroken by Celia's death, describing her as having, quote, a deep commitment to her patients and her family and a passion that endeared her to the nurses, physicians, and every person she touched. But they were upset with the union's approach, writing, "We are deeply disappointed that while we continue to mourn our dear colleague and friend Celia, the union is seeking to exploit Celia's death as an opportunity to criticize the hospital for a global PPE shortage."
HCA says the challenge is everywhere, and they're doing everything they can to protect staff. Now, feeling the pain at Children's Mercy Hospital. Starting Sunday, 575 employees will be furloughed. That could last up to 60 days. On top of that, the hospital is not filling 200 openings, and top executives are taking a pay cut. 350 employees are already working fewer hours. During the pandemic, the hospital has only treated 4 COVID patients. They say surgeries and outpatient procedures are down 70%. Right now it is 4:33 and Storm Track 5 meteorologist Erin Little is tracking storms for our Friday.
Yes, good morning to you, Gina. Today is a Storm Track 5 weather alert day. We're continuing to keep an eye on these waves of light rain this morning, but as I span this out, I want to show you what we have for the short term is just very light. What we'll be keeping an eye on just out to our west, moving across the areas of Topeka, close to Emporia, a little bit more organized area of scattered showers and thunderstorms. I think this complex will begin to kind of elevate and intensify a little bit and then move its way closer to the state line over the next few hours. We have a 70% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms this morning. I'll have the latest update on the rainfall chances into this evening and then looking ahead to the weekend here in minutes. Over to you.
Thanks, Erin. It wasn't your typical draft day. Quarterback Joe Burrow was at home, as was Commissioner Roger Goodell when he called Burrow's name. No big stage, no bright lights, no screaming fans. The first overall pick got a hug from his mom after he put on his Cincinnati Bengals hat. And with the last pick, our Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, they ended the night by adding another weapon to their offense. With the 32nd pick of the first round, the Chiefs selected LSU running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, adding depth to their backfield with Damian Williams and another target for Patrick Mahomes. Now, last season, he had more than 1,400 yards rushing and 16 touchdowns. Wow. Can't wait to see him out there playing Sunday's playoff in front of Chiefs Kingdom. Now, a local prospect was also surrounded by family as he's waited to hear his last name called. And it didn't take very long. Olathe North alumni Isaiah Simmons. He's heading to the Arizona Cardinals after being selected 8th overall in the draft. He was only a 3-star recruit out of Olathe North High School, and now he is adamant that he will be making a difference in the NFL. Good for him. Congratulations. Now, some people compare him to the Chargers' Derwin James because he can play anywhere. At Clemson, he played safety, inside linebacker, corner, outside linebacker. He told us at the Combine he prefers to say he just plays defense. But the best news is that the Chiefs won't have to face him twice a year. It didn't take long for him to tweet out his reaction. It finally happened with a crying face emoji. I can't wait to suit up for the Cardinals. And of course, the first thing he wants to do is jump on Madden and play with his biggest fans. Now, day 2 of the draft starts at 6 o'clock tonight. The Chiefs have the 63rd and 96th in rounds 2 and 3. Rounds 4 through 7 will be tomorrow. Now, no sporting event in Kansas City is complete without something to eat, right? While Roger Goodell announced the picks from his basement, Chiefs fans went outside. KCTV5's Emily Rittman explains.
For some fans, this was much more than just another NFL draft. In a way, it was a chance to bring pro sports back to KC.
Go Chiefs!
2 simple words.
Go Chiefs!
That take us back to much simpler times.
How about those Chiefs?
Lots changed since that Sunday in February.
Many Kansas Cityans miss their sports.
We've still been watching reruns of old sports.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
We've watched the Super Bowl 3 or 4 times.
The Masters.
Fans don't know when their favorite
Patrick Mahomes.
players
Patrick Mahomes? Me too.
will be back on the field.
It has been so heartbreaking in some ways not having sports right now.
That's why Mayor Quentin Lucas and a volunteer community engagement group called KC Hearts asked fans to hold a citywide tailgate from a safe social distance.
We're in.
Something to break up the monotony.
We're all obsessed with our sports teams around here.
No matter what you ate
I love eating hot dogs.
or drank,
Beer. I should come up with something more sophisticated, but, you know, beer.
it was a chance to celebrate something familiar together.
people really want to say hello and really want to connect and know that, like, give you a little positive energy.
To celebrate Kansas City and to show that we have great spirit, even if we're not all together in one big parking lot.
Emily Rittman, KCTV5 News.
Yes, we do. I love that everyone was celebrating yesterday. Right now, it's 4:37. President Trump offering some unusual medical advice. Coming up, what health experts are now saying.
And no doubt about it, we are going to see unsettled conditions, rain and thunderstorms for our finally Friday. But I'm going to look ahead to our rainfall chances ahead for your weekend forecast, Kansas City. Coming up, stay with us.
This message brought to you by St. Luke's Rehabilitation Institute, the intersection of innovation and hope. Current conditions, sponsored by Mission Plumbing, Heating and Cooling.
Family Leisure wants you to stay safe this summer. It's our Vacation at Home sale. 24-foot pools now only $19.99 installed. We've got the largest selection of in-stock patio furniture at guaranteed lowest prices. High-quality swing sets like this one, professionally installed. Melts away stress. Spas and swim spas are priced to move. Shop your way. Online, call us, FaceTime us, or set up a private in-store appointment today. Curbside pickup, doorstep delivery, and no-contact installation also available. Vacation at Home sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Fred, did you remember to set out the trash?
I forgot, but I'll get it.
And I'm sure you remembered that tomorrow's our anniversary, right?
Sure I did, honey.
Oh, did you remember to notify Missouri One Call to have the underground utilities marked?
I forgot. But I need to do that before we get started.
Fred, there are some things in this world you should never forget. And that's one of them.
You're right.
Alrighty, welcome back. Today is a Storm Track 5 weather alert day for our Finally Friday. Let me show you a live look right now where we are dodging a little bit of light rainfall over Kansas City. It's not going to be heavy here if you are an early morning commuter, an early morning riser, an essential worker for this morning. With the latest update on our conditions there along I-70 just off of the stadium complex. But I want to break down your hour-by-hour forecast for today. And almost every single time period from now through the time you go to bed tonight, we've got the chance of rain. Many of us will be in the 50s for this morning. As we're moving towards this afternoon, we'll see our high temperature probably earlier in the afternoon, then falling as our rain chances pick up as we're heading towards the evening hours tonight. I'm going to break down that hour-by-hour forecast with Forecast Track to show you exactly when we're going to see this first line of storms this morning, the second wave that is expected for tonight. We're going to look ahead to the weekend as well. Gina with your 7-day forecast in 5 minutes.
All right. Thanks, Erin. President Trump disagrees with the governor of Georgia, who's opening up some businesses today. Business owners, of course, are happy about this, but others aren't sure what it's going to look like with stores reopening during this pandemic. Now, at the White House, the Department of Homeland Security presented research which suggests the virus is weakened by exposure to sunlight, heat, and humidity. The study also showed that disinfectants are effective. President Trump then asked his medical advisors to look more closely at those results.
And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs.
FDA Commissioner Scott Hahn says he does not recommend injecting yourself with disinfectant. No, that would not be good. It is 4:41 right now. The pandemic is exposing problems with unemployment. Coming up, we're taking a deep dive to find some possible solutions.
Your 7-day weather forecast is sponsored by Security Bank of Kansas City.
Being outside and the fresh air is appreciated so much right now, but it's also severe weather season.
And in this time of social distancing, what to expect and how to plan for it is more important than ever.
Storm Track 5 is here for you on every screen.
On the KCTV5 live streaming news app.
So when severe storms approach,
or you just want to know the best time to grill or mow your lawn,
we're working hard to make sure you're safe from severe weather wherever you are.
Storm Track 5 on KCTV5 News stands for you.
Attitude is built into every bad boy mower that comes off this line.
We don't just outmow the competition, we outlast them. Bad boys are built heavier than they have to be to last a lifetime. Combine our revolutionary off-road 3-link suspension system, all-steel construction, and legendary bad boy power, and now 0% for 60 months? Are you kidding me? We never stop working to give you more innovation, more performance, more fun.
Bad boy, mow with an attitude.
When you're faced with having to repair or replace your roof, a name you can trust with 53 years in the business is Larry Vaught Roofing. We use quality materials, backed by exceptional warranties, and our crews have decades of combined experience. For repair, maintenance, or replacement of your roof and guttering, Larry Vaught Roofing is the locally owned and family-operated company that you can count on. Call or visit VaughtRoofing.com to schedule a free estimate and put our team of professionals to work for you. Larry Vaught Roofing, Kansas City's premier roofing company.
Welcome back, everyone. It is 4:44 right now. I'm not going to lie, Erin, it was a little tough to wake up this morning with that beautiful song of the rain coming down.
I know, and it's going to be hard to kind of get moving today with all the cloud cover, the rain, the thunderstorms. Today is going to be more of an indoor day, and not just for part of your Friday, it may be for the bulk of your Friday, from the time you're getting up early this morning until the time you head to bed as we're moving towards later this evening. I want to show you the new updates, and I just finished this here during the commercial break for you to help you plan ahead for your Friday in terms of when we're going to see the better chances of thunderstorms. I think we're going to see 2 waves. One this morning and then another good wave of thunderstorms late afternoon into the evening hours. We may see a little lull in the middle part of the day, say around the lunch hour through early afternoon, but for the bulk of our Friday, it's going to be wet. Let me show you the latest update of your Storm Track 5 forecast track. So this is a look over the next couple of hours. We will likely see a good complex of showers and even thunderstorms moving across our our area this morning. Here's the maybe break. It's very official. Maybe break. The 1 o'clock, say, as we're moving towards the lunch hour, we may see that first round push off to the east, and then for a good part of our viewing area, dry for a couple of hours in the middle part of the day. But then look what happens by 4, 5, 6 o'clock tonight. This is what Gary Amble is going to be tracking. Not only showers, but you can see these pockets of red. That's heavy rain potential. Thunderstorms for some of us as we're heading towards tonight. And this may last most of this evening. So it might be a good Netflix, Friday movie night at home, keeping it indoors for this evening. By tomorrow morning, we could still have a little bit of leftover rain early in the morning. That's the 20% chance that I have. But the bulk of your Saturday and the bulk of the weekend looks to be dry across our area. Here's the newest updates to your Security Bank 7-day forecast. Will be in the 60s for high temperatures both today and tomorrow. And then as we're moving towards our Sunday, I think it's going to be fantastic. 70 degrees, sunshine, great for yard work or for just getting outside for some fresh air. Then we'll be keeping an eye on the beginning of next week, especially by Tuesday for that next storm system moving into our area. Over to you, Gina.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Thanks, Erin. We are learning this morning about what led up to a dramatic crash in Lenexa. Lenexa police say yesterday a driver in a stolen car rammed one of their cruisers and took off on I-35. Speeds reached 100 miles an hour. The chase ended when an officer hit an innocent driver, sending their car rolling through a ditch. No one was seriously hurt. A short time later, the stolen car crashed into a pole. A suspect was arrested a few blocks away. And new this morning, a Kansas Republican lawmaker is calling for 2 GOP candidates to drop out of the race for the U.S. Senate. The Kansas City Star reports the party chairman wrote to the Senate's president, Susan Wagle, and former Johnson County Commissioner David Lindstrom, telling them that they lack a viable path replacing Senator Pat Roberts. Both Wagle and Lindstrom don't plan on taking the chairman's advice. Unions representing Topeka's police officers and firefighters, they are rejecting the city's proposal to take a temporary 3% pay cut. The pay cuts were suggested as a way to deal with plummeting city tax revenues because of the virus. The city did consider other alternatives before proposing the cuts. The mayor and city council members voted on Tuesday to cut their own pay by 6%. And doctors say there may be a new symptom of the coronavirus, a condition known as COVID toes. All right, we want to warn you, the photos you're about to see may be disturbing. Doctors say they're noticing these lesions on people's toes, specifically patients in their 20s. The lesions are red, purple, and blue. One doctor says there needs to be more testing to see if this is really linked to the coronavirus, but says it seems to be more than a coincidence during the pandemic. And a government agency says companies are allowed to test employees for COVID-19 before allowing them back into the workplace. Mandatory testing is usually banned by the Americans with Disabilities Act, but the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says companies can do it in this case because the virus could be a direct threat to the health of other people. This week, another 4 million people filed for unemployment, bringing the pandemic total to more than 26 million. Now, BuzzFeed News took a look at the number of unemployment claims, and they went all the way back to 2000. Now, look at the bump right after 9/11 and the 2008 recession. That's compared to now. Not even close. Now, we've been hearing from so many of you about your frustrations with the unemployment system on both sides of the state line. KCTV5's Joe Chiodo has the story of a local woman who's just at her wit's end.
For Angela Miller of Independence, 2020 was set to be a fresh start. A new year, a new job, a new school for her 2-year-old son.
He has special needs, so he was getting new therapies.
Then in March, coronavirus had a new plan. Angela works at a cemetery. She's non-essential and was let go. Her husband was furloughed from Union Pacific.
It's been a cluster. It's a nightmare for everyone.
They pulled their son out of therapy. She quickly filed for unemployment, counting on that money to survive.
I can feed my family. I can keep my lights on. I can pay my mortgage. The bare necessities is what that would cover.
But shortly after filing, this letter came in the mail. Her claim was denied.
What am I supposed to do, and how do I provide for my family going forward now?
Missouri approves unemployment based on the first 4 of your last 5 quarters of work. You have to earn at least $2,250 during that time. For Angela, that's January 2019 to December 2019. Here's the thing. She did not work last year. She tells me she was recovering from major medical surgery. She says lawmakers aren't looking out for people like her.
They dropped the ball. During this pandemic, absurd. There's so many people that did not work last year. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they didn't work. And to be penalized of no fault of their own during this.
We reached out to a lawyer here at UMKC and the Missouri Department of Labor to see what Angela should do next. They tell me she should apply for one of these 6 programs created by the CARES Act, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. Out of all of these, she could maybe apply for one, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. But the Department of Labor tells me even that is not a guarantee. She applied anyway.
Her results are confusing, to say the least. Shortly after submitting, the website told her her application expired. So she called the Department of Labor. Her wait time to speak with someone, 1,758 minutes. That's 29 hours.
So I called the media spokesperson for her and found out everyone's confused. The system is so new, you can't believe any message you see until it's a firm yes or no.
It's going through steps, so you could see several different things even within one day on a claim. I'd say hang tight for a couple of days and watch what it says. And I'll be very honest, not everybody's going to get assistance in the end. There are going to be people that aren't going to be eligible under any of these programs.
Angela tells me she's not getting her hopes up this time around as she heads into week 5 with new frustration, new fear, and still no pay.
That was my last sole hope, was unemployment.
Bottom line, Angela says she should not be penalized for not having a job last year when she had one this year. She wants the language of the law changed. That likely won't happen. It's been this way ever since unemployment programs began decades ago. Now, the Department of Labor does tell me there is a chance that new federal funding and programs could be created in the near future if this pandemic continues. That could help people like her. But right now, we just have to wait and see. Joe Chiodo, KCTV5 News.
Oh, so frustrating. But not everyone is hurting. Even with the economy shut down, America's billionaires, they've made a lot of money. Since the beginning of March, their collective net worth is up more than $282 billion. Now, Fast Company magazine reports Jeff Bezos and Eric Yuan are really cashing in. The Amazon CEO has made $25 billion even after the company's stock took a hit. And with his company's services in high demand, the Zoom CEO has made $2.5 billion. The Payment Protection Program has been out of money for a week now. We're waiting on the White House to reload it up. After weeks of debate, Congress overwhelmingly approved an extra $500 billion in funding. Now, a big chunk of that money will go to small businesses and hospitals like the one we took you inside yesterday morning. Angie Racono talked to the administrator of the Ray County Memorial Hospital in Richmond, Missouri. He says a simple thing could keep them afloat. Watch the story now by opening up your KCTV5 News app. Your time is 4:53 right now, and as the class of 2020 prepares for their next step, there is, of course, some worry for anyone going into college. Coming up, what some schools are offering to potential students so that they will attend their institution still.
KCTV5 CityCam is sponsored by KB Complete.
Hi, it's AB May. Chances are we're in your area delivering essential home services to your friends and neighbors. Home is more important than ever. As you depend on your home more, you can count on us to keep it working for you. Our technicians are prepared to provide clean, professional service for all of your systems: plumbing, drains, electrical, heating, and cooling. All vital for a healthy, comfortable home. We're open and ready to help.
This is our home. We've never seen it look quite like this.
But there's no mistaking it.
And it's our job to protect it. Because the best people to fight for our communities
are those within them.
So if you've just bought a Volkswagen or were thinking of buying sometime soon, we're here to help with the community-driven promise.
Sutherland's wants to help you create your dream space. Fill it with plants and beautiful flowers, refresh your landscape, and do a little cleanup. Want to cut your mowing time? Get a zero-turn mower. Sutherland's has new 2020 models from Bad Boy and Gravely, the best in the industry. Right now, get free delivery and setup on any ZTR mower you buy. Sutherland's would like to remind all friends of the family members they'll get double rewards on their purchases. Shop local. Shop family-owned Sutherland's.
As you can imagine, graduating high school seniors and their families, they're uneasy about signing up for college in the fall. Now, to help get them to campuses, some universities are offering up some extra perks right now. The Washington Post, where schools are tempting students with things like guaranteed tuition, early registration to avoid morning classes, and even free football tickets. Now, it's not just because of the pandemic. The Justice Department just forced admission officers to drop parts of their ethics code, so now they are free to offer things like this. Some homeowners were relieved to hear they'd get a break on mortgage payments during all of this, but the program from Congress was supposed to suspend monthly payments for up to a year on federally backed loans. The Wall Street Journal, though, reporting that many borrowers are being told they'll have to pay back that in a lump sum eventually. Now, because Congress didn't specify what happens once that grace period ends, this could be true. There are plenty of people joking about it on social media. Do you think my boss will notice if I wear sweatpants during the Zoom call? But a growing number of people are tempted to bear it all. The biggest nudist group in Britain says their membership has doubled since the pandemic started. That's what leaders tell the Daily Star. Here's the theory. People feel liberated by stripping down, especially when they're stuck inside. But the group expects them to eventually head outside, especially with the warm weather coming our way. Ooh. It's 4:57. The president getting ready to sign a bill with another $480 million for relief, including help for small businesses. We're hearing from them about how much these funds mean to them right now. We're also continuing to feature our everyday heroes. Still ahead at 5, we're talking with a local food pantry about how they're continuing to provide for a higher number of people with less people to help out. Your time is 4:57, a beautiful look of downtown Kansas City this morning. Your news at 5 a.m. begins in just 2 minutes.